So this is a continuing video in my series looking at tarot, the absolute basics, and I hope you find it helpful. Do subscribe or drop me a comment if you do. That would be just great. So the first thing I wanted to cover is the question. Okay, even before you get your tarot deck out, even before you start shuffling, working out the right question is a really important step. Okay, now if you're new to this or if you're still learning the skill, pen and paper really help because the right question creates a frame for the tarot to communicate clearly. For me, a good question is going to have several parts to it. It's going to have something that you can validate as being accurate, okay? So it's going to be rooted in the current situation or the past, either's fine, but you have to be able to validate that the tarot is being accurate and that you're reading it accurately. So most of my spreads are going to start with the situation. And then I always put in advice. I don't believe the future's fixed. Okay, I'm convinced of it. And so it only seems sensible to add some advice in because maybe, if you've asked, will I get the promotion? Maybe the advice is going to say, I don't think this is the right job for you. Or maybe the advice is going to bring something to your eye that's going to make a real difference to you getting the promotion. I've seen this change in readings with clients. I had a client say, will I get the promotion? This is when I was quite new and I was less aware of how to create the best question. And the card said no. And so I looked at the cards and there was the 8 of swords and the 9 of swords. And I thought, gosh, you're going to get to the interview and you're going to freeze. You're not going to be able to communicate clearly why you should get the promotion. This was from someone that was actually in the job and was going for a promotion in-house. So then I did advice. And I can remember the 3 of cups was there. And I said, what you need to do is you need to go and talk to your colleagues about why they think you should get the job. And then I did the outcome again, and the outcome had changed. And the outcome, I can remember the King of Swords was there about being able to communicate from the heart and wisely in the interview. And she did that. She went back to work. She talked to her colleagues. They all wanted her to get the job. They were all basically said, you're already doing it. So she went to the interview able to communicate clearly how she already did the job. And she got it. And so I think that tarot spread changed her future. By asking the right question, I changed her future. And I've seen this time and time and time again. Putting the advice in can change your future. So that's why you're often going to see me do 9-card readings where whatever you've asked about, the first 3 cards refer to your situation. The next 3 cards are advice. And the final 3 cards are outcome or likely outcome. And to me, that is such a powerful way to read tarot, rather than the sort of will I get the job, will I sell my house? Because when you look at the advice, there may be a clear block there, and by working with that advice, you can ensure the best possible outcome. So that's my first bit of advice in this video is before you even start shuffling your cards, if you're new to this or if you're looking to sort of reboot your skills, as it were, write the question down. And look at your question and think, is it a closed question? Is it a yes/no question? Sometimes people can get really confused. If they've asked the tarot a yes/no question or, a very directive question, maybe the actual future is completely different. I've had people really focused on a house move and I'm looking at the cards and I'm saying, I don't see anything about a house move here. I see something about a job promotion. And then as their life unfolds, they realize actually they get offered a job promotion and they don't want to or they can't move house now. The future's changed. So always leave room for that. If your questions are too tight, too focused, sometimes they just don't fit the future. And then the tarot seems to be sort of a gobbledygook. It doesn't fit. So sit down, write your question, and really spend some time getting to grips with crafting a good tarot question. I'm going to write a blog on this next week. So it's not there yet. I will do it next week, probably on Sunday. So do pop over to my website and take a look at my blogs, and then you'll have the video and the blog to really focus on asking the right question. So the next thing is shuffling the cards. Once you've worked out your question, shuffling the cards is really an important part of this. I believe the tarot is just a tool. I believe it is our focus and our intention that creates that magic connection that allows the tarot to be a living book to reflect whatever we're looking to understand in our life. So once you've written the question, really focusing on your question whilst you're shuffling is so important. So I'm going to demonstrate. I'm just thinking, I hadn't really thought about this. It's a problem with demonstrating tarot spreads on YouTube. So I'm going to write. I'd love to. I've got a couple of very small ebooks on Amazon about tarot, but I'd love to finally compile a bigger book on tarot, a proper textbook on tarot. It's a bit of a dream. And I never seem to actually sit down and do it. So I'm going to ask the cards about writing my tarot book, and I'm going to talk you through some of the basic skills to sort of help you to really get to grips with it. So as I've said before, I will do 3 cards for the situation. Where am I now with writing my book? 3 cards for advice and 3 cards for outcome. I like to do 3 cards because it's the connection, the narrative between the cards that really gives you the accuracy. For me, it's the connection between the cards and starting your reading grounded in the real world. That is what elevates a reading from, uncertain to really accurate. So, writing my tarot book, I am shuffling. I like to cut the deck, but you really don't need to. It's about having a little habit, a ritual, if you like, that works for you. But I do like to cut the deck. Now, if you've seen the other videos, this is the 3rd video, you'll have come to hear me say that a very important, the next most important step. So we've defined the question. We've shuffled the cards with intent. The next important step is to look at every card. I believe when we read the cards, we are getting psychic intuition, whether you believe that's from your 3rd eye or your crown, however you believe that works. We're getting psychic flow. We're getting information coming up from our unconscious, and our logical brain is untangling the symbolism as well. So if the first thing you do when you turn a card over is you go straight for the book or straight for Google, you are dampening down your unconscious. You are dampening down your psychic or your intuition, and you are teaching your brain, don't bother to look at the card, read what someone else said. So the first thing to do is always to look at the card. After that, if you want to research and see what other people have said, well, that's only sensible. There's a lot of wise people out there that have written a lot about the cards. So I like to do 3 cards. Situation now. Knight of Wands, raring to go, jumping in. Page of Swords is an interesting one there. I do a lot of client work. Both with tarot and shamanic work. And actually, what I would like to do is carve out some writing time, because constant client work, it is exhausting. I'm very blessed. I'm very glad I've got it. So yeah, we've got there situation, the Knight of Wands raring to go, the Page of Swords. I've got a lot of ideas in my head, but actually more recently, the 4 of Pentacles, I have been compiling a plan. I have a good idea now of the sort of book I would like to read. I would like to write. My mistake. I finally have that. So that would suggest that I am in a good place now to start to order my thoughts and have a plan and to sort of jump into it. So for me, that feels Before, I was very much here, raring to go, lots of ideas, not quite sure where to start. I think that's come in more recently. I have a plan now. I know how I would like my book to feel. I know how the sort of topics I want to cover. Advice. So this is so important. And I love how tarot works. I haven't actually read a tarot book for a long time. I'm very busy, teaching and reading. I haven't actually sat down and read a tarot book for so long, despite the fact I have many. And then last night I sat down to read a new one, and I was like, that's interesting, because the Hermit is about getting guidance. So yes, advice to me, that would mean reading other books that are similar in style to the one that I would like to read, to be inspired by other tarot authors. Temperance is about balance. I think my life would be a lot more balanced if I had some sort of more quiet time to write. Client time is wonderful. I feel very blessed, but it does get exhausting. The Moon. That would suggest that I don't quite have my vision set yet, that I haven't quite got the focus on how I want the book to feel, to be organized. And so being inspired by other tarot authors, getting a feel for how others or authors have done it, would resonate. So there we've got the advice. And then 3 cards for outcome. 2 of Wands. It's good potential, but there's anxiety there. The King of Pentacles, a really positive card in anything where there is money involved, if you like. And the 8 of Pentacles, attention to detail, really getting into the zone. This would suggest to me that, particularly with the 8 of Pentacles there, that this would be the first of several books, and certainly I would love to write a book on shamanic as well. That would be my next sort of dream. So yeah, to me now I see, and what I do is I read the one card and then the next card and then the next card. So the 2 of Wands is a card of anxiety. I say that because if you notice, this wand is literally bolted to the wall. There's anxiety there, but it's potential. And so now I see the 8 of Pentacles. I can see that writing one book on tarot would hopefully open the door to writing more books. Card at the bottom of the pack, something I need to know. The 2 of Cups. Now, a key thing with reading tarot is you have to move out of clearly defined meanings. Classically, the 2 of Cups is going to be romantic relationship. Actually, it's any relationship where 2 people each feel grateful for the other. I am really blessed. I've got a good friend who's an amazing author, a published author. So definitely, she's given me a lot of inspiration in the past for how to improve my writing. So I will be chatting to, once I get my ideas stabilized, I will be chatting to my good friend Rachel Burge for some advice. And it would also suggest cooperating with other people, particularly I think that's more for the shamanic work, but the 2 of Cups is about working with other people. But in this spread, the outcome looks positive, the outcome looks good. So these are the cards that I really need to work on now. And the Hermit to me would be looking to see how other people have done it, to gain inspiration and fresh ideas. Temperance will be about balance. I'm a particularly unbalanced person. I need to find the time to do this. And the Moon would suggest that the vision I have, which has been indicated by that 4 of Pentacles, isn't quite right yet. It's not quite there. And so you can see, I know all my cards are in a muddle. I do that in readings. I move them around to get the full picture. This 9-card spread can work for just about anything. The only thing it can't work for particularly well is when you have choices. So the next video I do next week will be how to read for choices, choice A or choice B. I will do that next week. But give it a go. You know, follow through the process, sit down and write your question first. Then it's 3 cards for situation, 3 for advice, 3 for outcome. And it really is a case, particularly you saw that here, of reading each one card. To me, that's anxieties, hopes, new beginnings, new ventures. It's not particularly a good outcome card, but I need to see where will it lead. It will lead to enjoyment, financial security, good financial return, and it will lead to more work. So now we can see it's leading to the right places. Obviously, if the cards either side of this were, I'm trying, perhaps, confusion and arguments, and then maybe exhaustion, then I might think, okay, I've got a bit too much on my plate right now. Now is not the right time to do it. On the other hand, if the outcome cards were, for example, the world, I'm just scooting through, the Knight of Pentacles, and let's put in the star there. That to me would be a card of I'm further, because what this spread does is it can give you a feel of how far along, because I need to do a video on timing as well, I've realized, how far along you are in your journey. The more concrete the outcome is as being positive, the further along your journey you are. My outcome, I would say, was positive, but with that 2 of Wands, not really concrete yet. So I hope that helps. And I guess what I really want people to do more than anything else is to take the time to look at the cards and to build that trust that your own intuitive flash is a really, really valuable part of tarot. It is great to look up other authors. It is important to research. It is wonderful to learn more about the tarot, but not if it's distracting you from your own initial intuitive flash.